सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। Hari Om. So Bhagavan says, because of this constant thought over what I want or what I don't want, there are bound to be some impressions that come about in my personality. So what is said as raga and dvesha. Raga is that which I want to have in my life. Dvesha is what I don't want to have. So both of these will be there. So when we say both of these will be there, what will happen? They will come about as impressions which will reflect later on as tendencies to, approach certain situations in my life. Whenever certain situation comes, I will say that this I will go towards, this I will go away from. So this becomes what colors our personality or what colors our behavior. And that is how, certain things like, in terms of food we might say that, oh, if it is too spicy, I'll stay away from it. Or if it is, something which is, if the place that you are going to is very cold, then sorry, I am not coming to that place. I don't like places where, it is too cold, right? So these tendencies, are this we are talking in terms of an outside environment, but more these tendencies, if we reflect and observe in ourselves, where are they playing up? They are playing up in our opinions, in our insistence on certain way of functioning when it comes to not just ourselves, not just with ourselves, but when we are with a group of people, right? When we are working with a group of people, we will see that, we have a certain way of approaching situations, where we will say that, our responses are more dictated by our prior ways of thinking. So how does it play up? It plays up in terms of the insistence that we have. Insistence case, no, we have to do things in this way only. If we are not doing it in this way, then you do it your way, I am going. So when such situations come up, then we have to take a re-look at ourselves. Am I insisting for something which need not be insisted upon? Am I, being a sadhak or am I being a badhak? This is something which we have to keep looking for within our personality, not for looking in someone else's personality and saying, there you are being a badhak. No, this is for self-observation. And mainly, have these kind of pointers in place for ourselves. So how do I go about acting in the world in a smarter manner? The way to act smarter is when we are able to observe ourselves. In a day, how many times do I go on the path of insistence, or how many times a day am I able to listen to people and reflect on the ideas which are given? Do I take time to sit by myself and do planning, or not just do planning, but how many times at the end of day do I realize that I have been able to achieve all that I have put in place for me in my to-do list? Because what comes about now more and more also is, there is this sense of procrastination which comes. Oh, not today, we'll do it tomorrow. Not tomorrow, another day. Right? So sometimes things don't get done only, and we don't realize how time just flies by. So there are these fine adjustments which we have to do in our personality. When will these fine adjustments come about? These fine adjustments will come about when I keep a destination in mind for myself. When my goal itself is not clear, what will happen? I will say someday, not today, someday. So I will keep pushing back that happiness for myself only. That happiness which is very much in reach for us. We learn, any satsang that we take, we say that okay, what is the aim of this Vedanta? What is the aim of Ramcharitmanas? Or even when we are saying Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, or chanting any Bhagwan's name, what are we trying to do? We are trying to revel in that self which is my own true nature. And yet, every day when we wake up, what are we doing? We are pushing that happiness further and further away and settling for smaller and smaller joys. So, what should we do then? So, instead of getting stuck over and over in the parasthiti, that is my circumstances, if I am able to observe myself daily, and if I am able to make those finer adjustments in my personality, not pushing myself too much also, not being harsh on myself, but where I notice that here I can bring about a certain change, yes, then I should definitely go about making that change. And then how will this help me? This will help me by, as Gurudev says, by sublimating these tendencies. These vasanas I am not going to be able to immediately brush aside. So what should I do? I should be able to dilute it. I should be able to sublimate it. And in this, what is going to help me? When I am able to adhere to my dharma. Going back to what we were discussing about dharma, what is it? There are certain vishesha dharmas. There are certain duties which I have to do for myself. And these duties, if I am able to hold on to them, if I am able to perform to my best in, then what is going to come about? Then this sublimating of these tendencies which are there, of these impressions which are there, will happen in a effortless manner. And therefore only Bhagavan says also in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 3, he says, Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushtithat. So if I take up my duties and I follow those up in a manner which is best to me, if I am able to do my duties to my best ability, then I am going to gain all that I need to get in this world. Be it abhyudaya, be it material prosperity, or be it spiritual advancement, it will come about smoothly when I do that which is my duty. Whereas when I take up someone else's duty, what happens? It is like, one Mahatma Ji says, it is like you have gone to the baggage claim, and instead of taking your baggage, you have taken someone else's baggage and you have got out. What is going to happen? One is that, your baggage is going to lay unclaimed over there. And two, you are carrying someone else's burden. It is not at all going to help you. And further, that which is lying unclaimed over there, it is definitely going to come to you because it has your name tag and your address on it. Right? It is not. So, what is your karma is definitely going to come to you only. If you evade it now, then Bhagavan says, okay, right now you are trying to keep it aside, but don't worry, it will catch up with you. If not now, it is definitely going to catch hold of you. So my karma is definitely going to come to me. Instead of delaying the process, what is best? Let me be smart and let me do my duty to the best. But then how do I do it? So what Bhagavan says is that fine, you are there, you are aware that there is a goal to this or this purpose to this life also. And you have got this beautiful opportunity of this human birth. Very good. So now that you are here and you know that you have the ability of discriminating or having this viveka buddhi, then what should you do? Sharpen that viveka buddhi. How? By studying your past experiences and knowing where there are pitfalls. Where you need not venture, don't venture. Where you need to go very cautiously, then be smarter, plan better and approach that same obstacle. Head on. Don't go away from it, but go ahead and face it. Right? What needs to be done, needs to be done. But you can do it smartly. Now all this, do I do myself only? No? Alone? Am I alone in this journey? Then Bhagavan says that here you have to be little more smarter. And here is where that path of Karma Yoga is going to help you. So what is this Karma Yoga going to do? Are you telling me not to do, not to function as per my desires? Of course you have desires and no one is telling you to go away from that. What Bhagavan is saying is sublimate it, or get rid of those tendencies by exhausting them in the right manner. So what then is the crux of this? The crux of this is that while you are achieving what you want to achieve, just instead of doing karma alone, you want to move towards that nishreyasa karma, that selfless attitude you want to bring into this equation of doing your actions the right way. So how do you do that? And why should you do that? Why can't I just go towards being me, who is that Brahman, who is akarta, abhokta? Yes, you can, that definitely is the goal. But are you reaching there any quicker? Has it happened instantly? No, it is not happening instantly, and therefore I am sitting in this satsang also. Correct. So Bhagavan says why it is not happening is because for ages you have been going only into the action and wanting to have want to have the best benefit of achieving what you want to achieve. Where? In the world. In what way? Through that changing only. This instrument which you have, it is also always changing. The world that you are wanting to gain those achievements in, that is also ever changing. So what then is dhruvam? What then is certain? Certain is that, that nature or that contentment which is always yours. And if you try to operate out of that contentment or out of that nature which is ever fulfilled, then you are going to bring about nothing but the best, not just for you but also the world. So Okay, but how do I go about it? So instead of just moving from being a karta to an akarta. Akarta is who? Akarta is that absolute nature which is mine, which is never actually acting, which is never really changing, that which is totally firm, kutastha, that which is ever shantam, ever auspicious, shivam. That is what? That absolute. But right now, where am I? I am right now in this, volatile world where I don't know where my mind is suddenly going to, go from being peaceful and calm into one angry personality, right? So, how do I work at it? So, Bhagavan says, instead of just jumping from being a karta to an akarta, you bring in this equation, one in-between stage, which is that of being a karna. Karna being an instrument. And that is what lies at the core of this Karma Yoga. If I am able to bring about in my personality this thought that I am but an instrument of the Lord, and all that is coming about around me is thanks to that Almighty. Right now, how is it? Right now, the thing is that I am doing, I am getting, this is mine. So there is only this aham which is getting asserted at all times. And where do I want to reach? I want to reach that bhava where I am akarta, abhokta. Where I am not the doer, I am not the enjoyer, but I am ever that happiness which I seek in the world. So, what is Bhagavan saying? You bring me into this equation that you have brought. Right now, you are not even acknowledging me. Right now, maybe sometimes you will say that, okay, I have to do puja. Fine, so I do puja. And right now, you say that, okay, certain calamities that come and, you are able to pray and you are able to evade those. Then you say that, okay, thank God that, this trouble has gone away. But day in and day out, it is this Bhagavan only who is bringing about everything for me. Am I acknowledging that? Am I living a God-centered life? Is what we have to question. So, basically what we have to do, instead of going towards that paradharma, we have to go, first thing we have to do is go towards our swadharma. Swadharma, those that are my duties as per this varna, that is as per my gunas, as well as per my ashrama, let me adhere to those first. And next is what? Next is start looking within for answers to life questions. Rather than seeking it outside, let's look within. Because we have been doing study, we have been doing swadhyaya. So, instead of just looking at problems, we should be able to look at life through a solution perspective. Right? So, how is this excellence or this inspired way of living going to come about? Then I have to understand that, when Bhagavan says yoga karma su kaushalam, excellence is in action. It is going to come about, or that union with the Lord is going to come about through acting in the world only. So how is this going to come about? Only through dedicated sincerity on this path that we have chosen of spirituality. Revisiting all that I do shravana of, churning this knowledge and seeing finer aspects of it where I can implement them in my life is what is going to help me. So, we had our Pujya Gurudev's teacher, Guru, Taponji Maharaj, who was living a life of having no possessions as such. If you go to Uttarkashi sometime, you will be able to see that small hut in which he lived. It was a mud hut. Of course, now for keeping it for posterity, it has some modifications have come about. But he was living on the banks of the Ganga. He was living an inspired life where he was reveling only in that samsara tattva. What is that samsara tattva? That essence of life, which is nothing but that happiness or contentment, which stems from knowing one's true nature. And where he could have had a huge ashram, or he could have had many devotees, etc. No, he wanted to live the life of a sannyasi and just revel in the simplistic way of enjoying life's greater goods. So but in and through that also, when he would be teaching people, when he would be imparting this knowledge to someone like Gurudev, he would say that even in the most simplistic way of living, bring about perfection, right? So even if you are living in a hut, may that hut be most cleanest, may it be most organized, may there nothing seem to be out of place. So even if you are wearing the most simplest of clothes, it might even have a tear in it, but how do you stay? May it be clean, may it not in any way hurt anyone, or may it not in any way come to cause any kind of discomfort to anyone. So through our simple ways of living, if we are going to be able to bring about that excellence, or in our smallest of actions, if we are able to bring in that excellence, then that is said to be a inspired way of living, right? So even as we look at this new year, what is it that we can do? So what we can do is have that cleaner, or have that very honest way of looking at life in general. Life has very many things to offer to us, but how we take each and every experience going towards that positivity is most important. Someone was saying that each person, someone who was trying to explain their problems, so they were saying that everyone has something bad in them, and therefore what is happening, so many things are going wrong. And I said, no, our teachers always tell us, right? Oh, what is it, Gurudev, or be it Gurudev or any of the acharyas even now, right? Even our Puja Guruji, even Puja Swami Swarupananji, what will they always tell us? That in and through everything, you see the inherent goodness that everyone has. And that inherent goodness is present in each and every one. And if we are able to connect with that, of course the circumstances will be different. It doesn't mean that you go with you go and you say that everyone is good, so I should not in any way cause any kind of discomfort. No, when circumstances or when situations present themselves to us, as is required in that transaction, as is required as per our role, we have to go about our duties in that way. But in our heart, right, what do we have to look at? We have to look at the inherent goodness in ourselves as well as that inherent goodness in others. And that comes about not just in people but also in things and beings around us, right? So what can I take best from a situation? That is something that I can correct for myself. I can't correct in another person. But what can I do best in a situation so that it doesn't become a hindrance to not just me but to another person also? That is something that we can bring about, right? So, there was this boy who came to Gurudev and he said that, Gurudev, Gurudev was visiting schools, and this boy says that, I can't focus, I can't concentrate in my studies, my mind keeps wandering here and there. So then, Gurudev asked him, take a glass of water, take this glass of water and, go to the end of the hall and you come back without spilling a drop also. So the boy went and very carefully focusing on the glass, because it was almost filled to the brim, and this boy was focusing on it, and he kept walking and he went to the end and he came back, and then he said, here, I have done it, and he had this smile on his face. So then Gurudev says, okay, did at any time your mind wander when you were at this task? He says, no, there was no wandering, there was nothing. I was just focused at, the water should not spill. I was so nervous that if the water spills, so I didn't, my mind was fully at that only. So therefore, Gurudev told him that, when your goal is clear, then distractions will be very far away. Those distractions itself will disappear. So for a sadhaka, what is important? For a sadhaka, it is important that we know what is our goal. We keep that in mind. Even if we are calling it that Saguna Brahma, we might have the name for that Saguna Brahma as maybe Krishna, maybe Shiva, maybe Ganesha. So one is to have that goal in mind, or even if we are looking at that goal as that Nirguna Brahma, we have reached that level where we don't need the support of a Saguna, then too what is required? Then too that Nishtha in that goal is most important. That Shraddha, that goal exists, that there is a means to achieve that goal, and that I can achieve it through the guidance of my Guru. That Nishtha, that Shraddha is essential for a sadhaka. And then further to go towards that, what do I have to do? Further to go towards that, what are the changes that I have to bring about in my personality? Because it is this instrument only of this body, mind and intellect which is going to carry me through it. My teacher is not going to put a hand on me, or my teacher is not going to give that one kataksha glance and that's it, I have attained moksha. That is not going to happen like that, right? So what is important? It is important that I start paying attention, I start focusing on this instrument, bring about the finer changes that I can bring about. No one else will bring that about for me. My teacher, what will that teacher do? That teacher will send me pointers from time to time. But I have to catch them. I have to be able to implement them in my life and not push them aside. So, what is essential? Basically, one is that, as Gurudev says, introspect daily, detect diligently, negate ruthlessly, and then sublimate them. Sublimate what? Those tendencies within us, that insistence within us, and grow thoroughly. How? By being excellent in and through each and every action that we take up, be it the smallest or small, right? And most importantly, know the purpose that we are here for. Use this, human birth as best as we can, and not just live for ourselves, but through that samanya dharma, what do we have to achieve? We have to be able to bring that benefit of that grace of Bhagwan for everyone else also. So when we are able to live through that happiness, when we are living centered in that happiness, then we will be able to see so many more expressions of that happiness come about around us also. So the grace of Guru and the grace of Shastra will come about only when we put in efforts in the right direction. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु.